Hi everyone, here's a video I created many months ago and I wanted to share it with you. It's at my older studio, so you'll notice a little difference in the background. The material that I covered was exactly what I think new beginners need. So, enjoy! I'd like to go over some techniques using the electric guitar, and it's going to focus on palm muting with playing punk rock and metal riffs. So let's have some fun. So those were cool riffs, and the techniques that they use, whether you know the songs or not, are definitely useful. So let's go over some of the things that they were doing. Primarily, we're looking at some of the palm muting styles and some things in between here and there. So one of my personal favorites have been the Metallica style of guitar work. I like the single string work that they'll do, and Enter Sandman is a bit of a flavor of that. I start by just hitting the top two strings like that, and my ring finger is blocking that third string just by touching it a little bit. I'm not fretting it. Fretting would consist of actually pressing down on the string. I'm just going to hit that twice, and as I'm finishing hitting that the second time, I shift to my ring finger to slide to the E on the 7th fret of the A string. So it looks like this. And from here, I'm gonna go to the E string on the 6th and then the 5th. So the way that I'm doing it is I do that first part of the riff, and then I mute it with my right hand, and then I come back to it. And it'll be a little bit tricky at first if you've never done anything like this before. From here, we're going to do the palm muting with the chords, and we're just doing power chords this time. So power chords are just typically the first 3 strings that you're going to work with. In this case, I'm starting on this G here because I have, and I'm just doing, and now what we're going to do is, so that part's going to require some more concentration, because in this particular part of the song, you have to find the right spot for your palm to sit. So if you have your hand too far up, you're not going to get enough of the note. So if I bring it back a little, I'm not hitting it any harder than what I was before. I've just brought it closer to the bridge so that it'll release more of the note. And if you're playing a power chord, then it's going to sound a lot more like what you'd hear with Metallica or Green Day or any other band that is using that sort of sound. So if I go into that E5 position, and I'm just finding that comfortable sound, I'll go to that G, that sounds pretty good, and I've got just the right amount of notes coming out of it. This particular riff, they do a You can focus more on the E string for this. And I say you can focus on the E string because it's really where the root notes are. And so I am taking the power chord shape so I'm going to slow that down a lot. And so when you put it all together, you get So now we can look at the punk rock sound, which is not too far off from the sound we were just doing with Metallica. Punk rock just really focuses more heavily on power chords, so like the and so again, we're working on finding that right position to put your hand by the bridge to get just the right mix. So what they typically do is, so when I'm doing that, I'm doing some combination of palm mute and then open, open. And what you're really looking at is hitting the root note. But I'm doing the full power chord. Now I was just doing this on the A string on the 6th fret and doing the 3-finger power chord. So if we take this power chord here, starting on the A string on the 6th fret, and then your ring finger follows it on the 8th fret, and then your pinky also follows it on the 8th fret, just focusing on those 3 strings. Now the other tricky part is not letting other strings sound when you're playing. So how am I doing that? I have gone over this before in previous videos. So you see where my fingers are, my pointer finger is on the A string here, and it's just touching that E string so that I can play it without any note noise. You might think, well, you've gotten this other sound, but you don't hear it when the other strings are going. Now, how about these strings in the back here? Well, just like here with my pointer finger, my pinky finger is doing the same thing with the string right behind it, which is the B string. And then my pointer finger is loosely barred across. So I'm only pressing down on this A string, but it's very lightly touching on these last strings, so I don't hear them. So I can strum all of the strings, but only the 3 that I'm fretting you'll hear. Now this is definitely a complicated thing to work with if you're pretty new with guitar, but there's no better time to work on it than when you're new. So what we're doing here is the palm mute. And basically your right hand is making everything that you're doing very percussive. That is, you're following a beat. Depends on what you're playing, if you want to play exactly what a certain artist was doing in a song, or if you're creating your own song. So you can review that section where we're really focusing on the power chord on the A string. You can focus on that a lot because that's the trickiest one. The one on the E string here, where you put your finger over here, is a lot easier to do because you don't have a string in front of it that you have to mute like you do when you're on the A string. So assuming that we are past that point, what we're looking to do very slowly to start off is just playing, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a Green Day song. It can be something we just make up. So I'll make something up. So this is the segment of the video that I did not finish. So now I am going to play a little something that you can practice yourself. I'm going to include the tablature so that you can look at it and see more specifically what I'm doing, but I'm going to also show you here. Now, starting on the 6th fret of the A string, and then we're doing the power chord as I was showing you throughout the video earlier. And we're just going to practice muting that E string as well as the strings behind it, and just find that right spot right on the bridge. And now this is what I'm going to play. As I played each of those parts, I kept the exact same fingering. Now, from this angle, it looks like my middle finger may be down, but as I said earlier in the video, I'm only going to be using these 3 notes, the power chord notes, everywhere that I go. So that's what makes it so easy to do. In the beginning, it will be a little bit tricky for you, just like anything else, but once you lock those fingers in place, then it's just a matter of getting really comfortable with where you find to put your palm to get that crunching sound. If you need to go over the video again to see exactly what I did there, you have both this video and the tabs that I will create for you to review. So as usual, if you like the video, stay tuned for more that come along. If you'd like, you can subscribe and see other videos come along when I post them. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can always reach me at my email address, which should be flashing on the screen right now. And if not there, you can also find it right in the description below this video here, as well as my website, Axtreme-Guitar.com. And stay tuned for stuff that comes out soon.